Hey, welcome to Bluejay Banter post game live at Let It Fly. It's Tim Kruger along with Josh Jones.
What's up, man?
We are excited. 89-60. The Jays hammer the Huskers. It's a blue state again, buddy. Like you told me, it's a blue state all the time, but this was affirmation.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we owed them for the simple fact of that last year's game.
Yeah.
And I don't even think last year's was a fluke, but this year right here, man.
Well, Kalkbrenner had mono, and we didn't know it. It wasn't reported yet, but I
forgot about that. Yeah. No, I think honestly, man, it was exciting to see because for me, each game watching the Jays, I feel like I'm trying to build this vision in my mind of a deep tournament team, and I think game by game, even in the Colorado loss, I think we're getting there.
Yeah, I think today was a classic MAC coaching school.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. Yeah. You're going to stand out there and you're going to shoot the ball all day long. We don't care.
Right.
Go ahead. Shoot it. Tomaningo, you're not going to shoot a three. Yeah. We're going to let you go into the lane and shoot that little two. And if you make a few, that's fine. But you're not going to make three. And then, luckily, I think also we did a pretty good job on two things. We did a good job on Gary, but then they kind of didn't go to him like I thought they should have because they got some mismatches there that could have worked.
Yeah, I thought that mask on Shireman would have been a slight advantage
for him. But they didn't take advantage.
No, exactly.
And Baylor did a good job to his point.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, for sure. When I was watching him play, I said, oh, he's a Nebraska kid. He's this is nothing to him.
Yeah,
that was great. In the beginning, I was wondering, why our Jays didn't go to Kalkbrenner. He didn't touch the ball for
his first points, I think, were with 9 minutes left in the first half.
But then again, I thought about it. I said Nebraska is, playing checkers, but in the sense of they're trying to pick a poison. So they rather key on him and let our guards do their thing.
Yeah.
Which worked out for us.
Well, any day you have a day like this, I got to get this out of the way first because I've done this since, way back when we were doing radio days and we were doing it live in a bar, we'd always say, when we beat Nebraska, we have a toast. And today we got the Let It Fly beer here, right here. Beautiful can. There it is. There it is.
Good camera skill.
Oh, that's great camera skills by our producer, Josh. And toast to all the Jays fans out there. Affirmation, baby. It's a blue state again.
I didn't have anything prepared. That's why I'm not toasting. But I'm gonna drink after this. I promise.
Well, we could have got you one. We could probably still get you one.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of them here at Let It Fly Sports Bar. By the way, what a great atmosphere here today. 70-30 Jays fans. Zach, would you say probably in here 70-30? And
but I feel like the Husker fans are really Husker football fans.
Well, they were kind of quiet today, though.
Yeah.
The true Husker, they were pretty quiet because things weren't going too well. But not only that, while you're watching the Jays game, you can kind of keep track on the 80 screens here of the NFL going on, right? So that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
For sure.
So hats off to Let It Fly. Hats off to our buddy Phil, who had the game on a timer. That center screen's flipped over right at 3 o'clock to the Creighton game. After I was hassling him, I don't want to miss a second of this.
Yeah, you came through, Phil.
Yeah, nice job. And but Let It Fly, great place to come and eat. Oh, Josh had some cheesecake Zach had some cheesecake right before he came in here.
Favorite pie of all time. I know.
That looked good.
I know.
That looked good. Anyway, they got great desserts here too, which you normally don't see.
Yeah.
But this is a high-end sports bar, which is a great kitchen.
It's an upscale experience.
Absolutely.
Good
point. Good point.
For sure.
But at any rate, so come on down, watch the games with us. We're going to have tons of watch parties. Make sure on Saturday you come down here before the game.
Yep.
You can catch some hoops. You can catch a little football going on. And then afterwards, come on down after the game Saturday afternoon, and you can get a headset and listen to our show, which will be on one of the screens here. So you can listen to it right here while you enjoy some food and some cocktails and enjoy your Saturday afternoon. For those of you that either aren't here or are away from Omaha right now or watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button, and go check out everything that we've done here over the past, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Besides these post-game shows, we also do our regular Bluejay Banter show, which we'll have tomorrow here as well.
Yep.
So make sure and check them all out. They're always on live, and you can always obviously watch them later on. So thanks for joining us. We have to thank our wonderful sponsors, CareMinders Home Health Care, Equitable Bank, and our new sponsor, Godfather's Pizza.
Ron Gartland.
Ron Gartland at Pizza Pie Pile High.
Appreciate everybody over there at Godfather's for sure.
Road games, we're not, normally home games, we have a player and a coach join us. We will do that all season long. Road games, we don't. One feature we're going to have starting next Saturday, both home and road, we're going to have, some people have asked, hey, we used to call in and so forth. We're going to have a text feature for you. So next game, we're going to have a text feature where you can text, either give your comments or, ask a question. Yeah, and we'd be happy to answer to. We're going to have Josh and Ross here. Ross isn't here today, but normally Ross will be here.
Yep.
2 former players, so they got a lot of knowledge.
I always keep it real, so please.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, hit us up. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is it safe to say that despite of shooting percentage, how well he was in the other conference, that Ashworth's role, so to speak, is a facilitator only?
I'm so glad because
I'm waiting on something that hasn't happened.
I feel like I've had this weight on my shoulder because I told people from day one.
Yeah.
Because I watched him last year and I meant, man, this dude is so.
Because he can't shoot,
I've always, just to go back 50 years.
Yeah.
I've always been in love with guys that can shoot the basketball.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
Yeah, the big guy. I know you got to have a big guy to win generally,
Yeah.
Ryan Kalkbrenner, Edie at Purdue, right? Helps out a lot.
Right.
But I've always been a guy who just loves guards that can knock shots down
sure.
and hit the big shot.
Yeah.
And I watch a ton, obviously do bracketology. I watch a ton of Mountain West. It's always great because the wife goes to bed, Mountain West game on. And last year was great because Mountain West was so good. They had so many great teams. And I watched this guy, and I just fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And every team in the Mountain West was, and I talked to him about this about a month ago. I said, Steven, what I noticed last year was everybody in the Mountain West was keying on you.
Yeah.
You've got to love it here where that's not the case. He goes, oh, man. He goes, that wore me down a lot, I'm going to admit.
Right.
Because every game there was a double coming. There was, all these different defenses to try and stop him. And yet he still shot 41% from three.
It's tough.
And when he started off a little slow, people were all over me. Oh, man, this is not a good fit. This was a bad trade-off as you would.
Why did they say that, though?
Well, just because he wasn't hitting shots.
Oh, for
and
sure.
he was turning over a couple times. And he wasn't, the trade-off, if there is one, is he can shoot 41% from three versus R2 who could
penetrate, facilitate.
More athletic.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think they both can facilitate fine. It's just closing at the rim. Now, Ashworth hasn't had the opportunities to go to the rim, and maybe that happened because R2 was more, athletic to get to the rim.
He had the ball in his hand like 30% of the time.
Yeah. But people were like, well, if he's not going to make threes, this is, it's kind of the Dr. Pepper commercial when they go, hey, folks, that was just the first play of the year.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Yeah, right.
And so I'm been so happy that he's showing everybody that the player that he is and can be.
Yeah. I'm not, and the thing is this, it's like every single game that he plays, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable, like how he just facilitates and is a floor general at the end of the day, because Farabello, and I don't want to jump ahead of myself, he's almost like complementing that role of expectation that I'm seeing from Steven. I feel like with Steven, I thought it would be a thing where maybe, we'll see not as much Shireman, but Alexander get downhill a little more than Steven in the corner or something like that. But Steven is just a threat within like what he adds to the team no matter where he's standing. But he's not really looking to catch and shoot. It's more so to make a play overall for the team.
And like we saw today too, shot clock running down.
I know.
He can do a Baylor and nail that long three.
Exactly. And I'm excited about that in the long haul because deep in the tournament with a point guard like that doesn't turn the ball over, and with guys that are super confident, man, it's looking bright future for us.
I'm glad you mentioned turnovers because we've had a little issue with that
in the first half.
And again tonight we had a little.
Why do you think that though, from your perspective?
I don't know why it is. Trey has really had a lot of games where he's had a lot of turnovers, which is I can't. Maybe it's because Trey is trying
to make plays.
Make plays and not be the guy who just drives it in and shoots that 10-footer or whatever. And so maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's like high risk, high reward type energy.
Yeah. So we've got to clean that up.
Yeah,
because in the Big East, that's going to come back to haunt us.
It will.
We gave away some possessions, even though we won by 29.
Yeah, right.
Right. But we gave us some possessions when the game was a little bit close in the first half,
right,
where we could have really stretched it out.
Yeah.
But we had some sloppy. Baylor had a sloppy cross-court pass.
Yeah.
That's like
that's
like a freshman pass there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. When I hear you talk about
that was Josh Jones when he was a freshman, he'd throw that pass.
No, I'll throw that as a senior too, bro. I'm still taking the risk.
Ooh. And then did you look over at Dana and go, "Ooh, I'm coming out"?
That was my freshman year. Yeah. But by my senior year, I just didn't look it up. But no, honestly, man.
You coming in for me?
Yeah, like I feel like I like your perspective because from a player's perspective, I'm always like, we're just trying to, like I said, high risk, high reward. Some are boneheaded, I get it. But I think overall, like, we just can't have as many turnovers. You know, I think it's the most we've had so far the whole year within the few games we played in the first half, I think. Don't quote me on that.
7, but we cleaned it up in the second half. It wasn't bad. I think we ended up with 12 turnovers,
right.
I think.
But the thing is, if we stay at 10 for the entire game, I think we roll.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I just think it's a matter of I guess you can say simple plays, but we're just trying to run, and when we're running, we're just trying to react off instinct.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't mind, and the other ones I don't mind are we're trying to get Kalk involved. So if we lob it in there once or twice, we think it's there, and it's
not there.
I'm okay if we turn over once in a great while. I'm trying something.
But it's rare. We're not a team where like I can't key on a player or a possession with the style of basketball we play where we're trying to telegraph it or give it right to Kalk. It's always something where it's a screen and roll and a bounce. Like, he's so agile. Like, we don't have really that many methodical plays where it's just back to the basket.
I mean, it's not like, say, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we even got that lob shut down last year for a big portion of the season. 2 years ago, man, we were running that thing.
I know.
Non-stop. It was like if you remember the Bradley game where Doug scored 44 points.
Oh, of course I remember.
Bradley.
I remember.
He was coming around that screen at the free throw line, and he was open every time.
Every time, yeah.
And they just kept giving it to him, giving it to him. And finally, the Bradley PA goes.
The fact check is 42 points, right? Was it 42? Yeah. It might have been. I know 44 was at Tulsa. Or something like that.
42, I got 42. That was Cavell Witter that one time.
Oh, yeah.
In the overtime game. Yeah. But anyway, whatever it was.
We'll just write it off to him.
He was coming around, and then Bradley PA goes, McDermott again. Like, are you ever going to stop that play?
Yeah.
But that's the way the lob was to call.
For sure.
And, we haven't had that. Teams are taking away from that.
Right.
I think it's there a couple of, like today, there was one time where Kalk was wide open.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I just think what I appreciate about him now is he keeps his composure. Like, he's not really like, he's out there just doing the work. Even if he don't get it when he's wide open, that energy doesn't feed off into the team, but it's something that Coach Mack, as a coach, he analyzes, because after a while, it's like if he doesn't touch it at all, we won't score at all. We'll make a lot of mistakes. And that's why I feel like some of those turnovers came from the first half. I feel like we weren't going to him as much, and we were just making guard play happen, and it turned really quick to the turnovers.
But a solid performance all around. We had 2 double-doubles today, both Shireman and Kalk. Kalk back-to-back double-doubles.
That's crazy. The Shireman, though, was like he earned every Kalk is like, you know, he get rebounds that you don't even think about. But Shireman is like how hard he worked today. I think obviously he was feeding off of his three-point shots or whatever. Those 10 rebounds, man, what he did today is almost like I need to see that every game now, like from a rebound perspective. Like, let's try to get his double-double as much as we can, especially in conference play.
I've known it all year, but I really noticed it today. He's 6'7".
Yeah, he is.
So people forget that.
Yeah.
He's 6'7".
Yeah, he is.
He's bigger than most guards.
Right.
And today, on multiple occasions, he was able to go up, tip that ball, and then grab it.
Yeah.
Where a lot of guards can't do that. That's
exactly.
a 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
He made it a 75-25 ball.
Yeah, I just think that the way he played on the rebounding tip, like, if we want to do what we're capable of doing, he has to see himself like a forward when it comes to rebounding, not a guard.
Yeah,
he has to.
And he is, and he's flowing back in too,
right?
Which is really good. So,
exactly.
Yeah, tremendous. And you know, the funny thing was, Zach and I were talking. Our producer were talking. He was 6 of 12 in the first half.
Yep.
He went 0 for 7 in the second.
You know, I was thinking.
He was 6 of 19.
I was like,
overall.
oh,
You're
man.
going to look at his stats and go, well, that wasn't that good.
Yeah, he ran out of gas.
But when the game was on the line, that's when he made them.
Yeah, for sure. For some reason, I feel like it's always like that in college basketball, man.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
You have a strong, like, and maybe that's legs. I don't know.
Maybe it's just defenses.
Yeah, keying or something.
Yeah. Although in the second half, he had a lot of great looks.
Yeah, no,
man.
for sure.
And I thought Nick did a great job on the telecast pointing out that, look at Nebraska. They're collapsing every time anybody drives in.
Right.
Now, look, Creighton has three shooters standing out there.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's where Fran got his points.
No, exactly. But the thing is, he was taking his points from us, from what we talked about. He was shooting on instinct. It wasn't overthought. It wasn't.
Who's that?
Farabello.
Yes,
yes.
That's totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree.
That is what makes it hard to beat Creighton. You know the big three is going to do their thing, but when you got guys like Farabello that's just shooting on a catch with the high confidence he can. Mason Miller does it well. Trout.
Mason was good today,
yeah,
too.
He was. Trout is I think Trout in this game.
Trout just keeps growing on me, man.
I was about to say, yeah. He put it on the bounce a little bit in the corner, and I liked it for the simple fact.
Zach was saying to me during the game, he goes, man, I never thought I'd see a game where Trout had two stuffs inside.
No, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, who he is at the core, he's a hard worker. He's really
a dude.
He's really a garbage man with a three-point shot.
Yeah.
You know, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And I feel like I like how Coach Mack was doing the stubborn pattern to a point where, okay, Mason was balling out. We had enough stretch of a lead. He put Trout in to keep that momentum going and confidence.
The other thing today, too, Trout, early on, got beat pretty bad on defense. But then the rest of the way, he's like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. And are you worried about that in conference play?
I think so. I think he's going to, you know, we have some athletic fours.
Yeah.
In the league?
I'm not going to say he's all the way bottom heavy. I just think that from where he was at Virginia, each game by game, he's getting used to this style of play.
Because at Virginia, again, we talked about this before, he was a blocker, man. He just goes in and sets screens, and they wanted a big dude to do that.
Exactly.
But I think he's growing every game. Like, toward the end of the game, where he battled for that ball and got the point, and made a great pass. That was just that's something.
You know what people are sleeping on? How great we are on defense as a team.
Oh, absolutely.
And like top in the country type defense.
Yes.
Like, I think that I'm most proud about Creighton, our identity is let it fly, 100%. But the simple fact that defensively we move around, we rotate well, and we can rebound the ball. Man, dual threat of a team.
And the other thing, too, yes, Nebraska shot horribly from three, but part of that was their defense.
Exactly. 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to,
Tamika got a couple blocks.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Trey was very long. Put Trey on him. That was a beautiful move. Put Trey on him. Make him, if he wants to go by Trey and try a 15-footer.
Even if Nebraska shot better in the game, Creighton still will be hard to beat for Nebraska, just because of how well they play offensively and defensively.
Well, and none of that, we have a big advantage down low with Kalk against Mast. I mean, that's a huge advantage. Mast was a Valley player.
Valley player.
Where that that five can step out and shoot the three.
Right.
I mean, but
But we had Shireman the way that he was guarding him made me very confident for Big East play. That was a great move.
Great move because Kalk didn't have to grab. Like he could just stand underneath.
And he was, and I know like he was kind of quiet in the sense of certain things, but like his presence was felt because he was able to be agile in other areas.
How many times you see Tominaga beat somebody on the dribble, go in there, and then just dribble it out?
Exactly.
Yep.
And that is why and that's why, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I'll just say right now that my unsung hero is Baylor Shireman's defensive play.
All right, well, let's go to Unsung Hero. It's sponsored by Careminders, our title sponsor. Jim and everybody do a fantastic job. If you have maybe a senior person or you need home health care, give them a call. I suggest going to caremindersnebraska.com. That's their website. They'll take care of everything for you. They're fantastic. So check them out today. That's caremindersnebraska.com. Unsung here. You're going with that's an interesting choice, Baylor.
Well,
a guy who had a double-double, but you're saying specifically his defense. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. Like, I just feel like his offense was so loud that it overshadowed how great of an impact that he had defensively. Just the look of him against Mass right away gave our team a different type of comfortability and identity defensively during the game.
Yep.
You got a guard that can match up with your 5. Like,
he's the guy I think that blocked Tominga's shot too.
Exactly.
On one of the threes later on
exactly.
when they switched off.
He played hard defensively, and that's why I'm trying to say, like, sometimes, man, you know how, have you ever heard of the saying where, like, people say, man, if you ever want to get your offense going, play defense, you know, try to get active on defense and get you some confidence on offense, and then you finally make a bucket.
Sure.
I feel like for Baylor, playing against a forward allowed his actual activity within the whole game to play at a higher level.
Absolutely.
Like, so just be physical with Baylor every game.
Again, I want to point out, it's a blue state.
Yes, it is.
Come over here to Let It Fly Sports Bar and have a Let It Fly from Infusion Brewery.
How long do you think the Huskers go with the circumstances they have every single year before they decide to change? Like,
I think Hoiberg's a good coach.
Yeah.
I think this is his best team, as Max said.
Yeah.
Let's let this Big Ten season play out. I don't think the Big Ten is as tough.
No.
It's obviously you have Purdue.
You watch Wisconsin and Marquette?
Yeah. But Wisconsin's like this, though.
I know. And their forward positions
they always are every year.
Yeah, I know.
So that shocked me that they beat Marquette, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and I feel like it wasn't the fact that they were at home. I thought it was the fact that Marquette didn't play as well as they normally play.
Right.
Come to the Big East.
And that's probably a team that I think Marquette probably, like with Creighton, they like to go up and down.
Yes.
Wisconsin slows it down.
Yeah,
they got to grind it out in the half court.
Yeah.
But then you got like Purdue is also very finicky. Like they go into Northwestern and get beat.
Right.
But I think from Purdue, if you take them away and you go down the rest of the league, gosh, I think at home, Nebraska can play with most of those teams.
That is true. I know the next 2 games are tough for them.
Yes. They got Kansas State.
Yeah, but their style of play in the conference they're in, I think it matches up well. It's like, I just feel like with a guy like Tominaga, like, what I like about him is the fact that he reads the room. There was a point in the game where he made a play, he went on a little run, because he had like 11 of their, like, whatever.
Right.
And
he had a good game.
Yeah. And then I remember it was a point in the game where he actually, like, tried to take a 3 to get some momentum going. And I feel like, from my perspective of the Huskers, like, it seems like their best defense comes from their momentum on offense. And it's like you hustling backwards. And especially when you're playing against a team like Creighton.
He had 20 points today.
He was hooping.
That was a quiet 20 points.
He was hooping. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, like, he was trying to do everything he could to try to get momentum back on his team. But I had a friend who was at the game, and he's not really a Creighton fan, and he tried to send me. He's like, man, no love for the Blue Jays. I said, the net loves them, something like that. But he was saying, like, you can really hear a pin drop by, like, as the game went on. It just got,
sure. You could hear it on TV. It was very quiet.
And Tominaga was trying to take, like, shots threes, layups, just make plays offensively to get them going, but nobody else could, like, match his energy on their roster.
Gary, they say, does better off the bench. He's their leading scorer, but he only had 8 today. So
Man.
I just don't. I mean, I think we did a good job on him, but I don't think they looked for him enough.
They didn't. Right.
Yeah, I think he could have taken over, kind of,
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's a big physical dude.
Right.
Mast had 9.
9?
Yep.
Exactly.
Tommy had 20. Williams, nice job on him, 6 points.
Man. And that is –
because I think he's averaging like 14.
Like 14, yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Creighton's defensive effort in the country will always go overlooked because of how well we shoot the 3.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I was impressed.
So, Nebraska from 3 today, 2 for 22.
Gosh. And the thing was, like, I was looking at the game. Like, I feel like this I was thinking at a point in the game, like, do you just keep shooting it, or is that your game plan? Or
well,
like,
I mean, like I said, Alec kept shooting it, and that's not his.
That's not, right. But Creighton, I'm telling you, like,
Creighton was 14 of 40. Now listen to this: 4 of 17 in the second half.
Wow. And
yet we extended the lead.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because we played that great defense. That slept on defense, and the thing like that, what's crazy? Those threes for those stats don't do justice to the looks we got.
Here's something way under the radar that you're not going to think about when you think about this game. At the end of the first half, Steven gets
5 free throws, put him up 15 points.
Crafty move, gets fouled.
Now
that was a foul because if you watch the replay, the player actually backed into Steven at the end. You could say Steven jumped into it at first, but then the player backed into him. So
is that a collegiate rule now too, where you can't jump into your opponent?
Well, I've seen refs let it go, especially the last second shot.
Right.
There was definitely contact there. You had to call something.
Yeah.
But what struck me was, oh, wow. If we get technicals this year,
I know
they're going to be knocked down.
But something in my mind said, man, you got so many shooters, but the way Mac is, he's gonna always.
Well, he was like 90% last year from the line.
Oh, he won't miss.
Yeah. So
he and Clark Brenner
I think he was 3 for 3 coming into this game, so that'd be 7 of 8 so far this year. So
And that's the thing, like, I'm not. And the thing is, like, this word is a stretch. But, like, I'm going to just say for myself, I'm going to stop disrespecting what I'm expecting from him when it comes to the 3.
Yeah.
He's doing his job.
I like your Unsung Hero, though, sponsored by Care Minders, because we're so often going, oh, well, it's Fran.
Yeah.
Or it's Fred.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we go. But that was good, Baylor defense. So, I think this year we're going to have to specify, like, parts of people's game to be, maybe crucial. Like Kalkbrenner was unsung because he hit 2 or 3 threes or something like that.
Exactly.
Like
trust me. Like,
I like it. You've opened up a new door for us.
I mean, the only reason why I think like that is because I remember Coach Mack. He wasn't, when it comes to me as a player, he wasn't caught up on me necessarily doing on-ball defense because that's what I can do that. But he's like, Josh, we want you to dive on the ground a couple of times. Josh, we want you to set a hard pick, get Doug going around on a Dakota or something. Those things, it's the little things, man, that go a long way.
And Mac is so detail-oriented.
He is.
You have not heard me say this, but I was at practice on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So before the Thursday game, before this game today,
right.
Most intense practice I've ever seen Mac put forth. I mean, he was walking around like a caged tiger.
Was this before we got our ass kicked, or after?
No, after.
Oh, wow, okay.
So Mac was walking around, and you know how they had, on both ends, they had 5 guys.
Yep.
No defense. They were just running sets that they were going to run against Oklahoma State.
Right.
And normally you see these, and sometimes guys jog, sometimes they run, sometimes they walk. It's not a big deal. They're just trying to get this up. Mac blew the whistle and goes, everybody better be running as hard as they can through these. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he was getting into the grill of some starters.
For sure.
It wasn't just –
for sure.
Helping, trying to make the bench better. It was starters. The starters were going, ooh.
Just hearing what you said, it just kind of made me think, like.
And when they came out of Oklahoma State, you could see there was their big thing was
a look about them.
Over the ball screen.
Coach Altman's words, a look about them.
Get over the ball screen. Get over the ball. We were, and if you think back to that tournament, in Kansas City, we were being a little passive about that. We're
100%.
like, all right, we're just going under here, whatever. 100%. Man, and if you didn't get over a ball screen, you were yanked out. Another guy went in, and so he was and you saw that Oklahoma State game. I think they were a little bit taken back by our aggressiveness on defense, and so and I think that kind of carried over today too. And on the flip side of that, Nick mentioned this many times during the broadcast.
Yeah.
Guys, you can't go under on Shireman or Ashworth.
I mean, they were doing it like consecutive possessions. Yeah. It was crazy.
You can't do that.
And I had a conversation with Baylor over the summer about his percentages and stuff. He's like, man, I take the deep threes. And so, like, I think the Huskers were going under on, like, range, assuming that he would just dribble in more and shoot it. He was pulling that sucker.
Yeah. So let's just run down the scoring today. So, Shireman, 24. He was 8 of 22 overall, 6 of 19, but over 7 in the second half. So he's 6 of 12 in the first half from 3.
Okay.
Trey Alexander, 13 points, a quiet 13, only 1 of 6 from 3. 6 of 17. He was off today in his mid-range game. That's usually
he was.
And he's been off for the last 2-3
He was making
games.
Plays though. Like he facilitated.
Yep. And as we
mentioned,
his
assist? What was his assist?
He had 5 assists, 3 turnovers though. Yeah. We got to clean that up. Kalk, another double-double, 13 points, 12 rebounds. By the way, Baylor had 10 rebounds, so another double-double for him.
Yep.
Stephen Ashford, 13 points. He was 3 of 9 overall, 3 of 7 for 3. Hit those 4 out of 5 free throws. He had 2 assists, 3. This is his first negative game. 2 assists, 3 turnovers. Seems like he had more assists than that, but okay.
Yeah.
Mason Miller, knocked down a couple of threes. Nice for him.
He did his job.
Fran.
Yeah, what's up with him?
Fran had a nice game.
Yeah, he did.
8 points. 8 points,
he
2
did.
of 3 from 3.
Yeah, another guy who did his job.
I ran into Fran Friday.
Okay.
I was heading to cover the volleyball, the region, NCAA regionals.
Yep.
And I saw Fran, and we had a chat, and he goes, Tim, we got this.
Dang.
And I walked away going, that wasn't just a player, we're going to be 5. We're going to I could just tell, like he was like, no, we're going to be good here.
Yeah, one of the things that they would, the players tell me when it comes to you is, like, they know that, like, the expectations coming from you is, like, how well they can play, and the stats show, how can I say it in the nicest way possible? It's like, man, he's always on our ass when it comes to statistics. So we know when he come around, like, it reminds us of what we're supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had that much influence.
You do, man. You got a you got a microphone. You got a microphone. People listen.
With you, I just said, shoot it like you did against Evansville.
Yeah.
Hit 3 in a row.
Right.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
You know what I should have been told? Shoot it like you had Omaha Central.
And defend in the last play against Alabama.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, I can respect what you're saying, man. Like, it was great.
I know the game was already over. It was 30 points. But then Dotzler gets in there, and he just looks like he belongs.
He does.
He
does. And I was thinking about him the whole game, man. And I felt like we had a big enough lead. But, I'm not Coach Mack. I don't know.
That's Mack's subtle way of, like, not running it up on somebody. But
man, I would have ran it up on him.
This is Nebraska. The fans were on my tail about last year.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that we hold this lead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How do you think Josiah's, and I know the circumstances with him is like, keep having great practices and stay ready so you don't got to get ready. How do you think he's going to pan out when it comes to Big East play?
Yeah, I mean, we may need him. Ashworth could get in foul trouble. Trey could get in foul trouble.
Right.
We may need him.
Right.
So he's got to stay ready.
Especially with, I think Stephen had a great game. I think we played such a great game as a team that we overlooked his, turnovers.
Yeah.
But I think that Josiah can hold it down the same. And he's bigger so he can guard, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked good out there.
Yeah.
He looked good out there.
For sure.
And again,
he was enthusiastic too, though, man.
Right.
I look at the bench. Like, there was no crying. There was no complaining.
Yep.
He was trying to win.
Yep. Well, so that's it. Frederick King, just another solid performance.
I know, man.
Just hold on.
Yeah, what was his stat line?
He had 6 points. Rebounds.
5.
Sorry, we don't have the regular. It's 6 rebounds.
I knew it was something like that. I was counting.
And not a lot of time. That's pretty
exactly,
solid.
Right.
12 minutes. That's pretty good.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, everybody did what they were supposed to do.
Again, like I've said it a million times. Well, 250 teams in this country would love him to be their starting center.
I know, but it's tough when you're playing against a guy.
Maybe more than that.
I know. And sometimes you almost can't see that you're actually getting better because you're playing against a guy that's so good in practice.
Yeah.
And Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But a solid performance by the Jays. Overall, so just the stats, we shot 46% from the floor.
Of course.
Solid.
Yeah.
35 from 3, and again, that was with a horrible second half.
Yeah, second half.
And 11 for 13 from the line. We knocked them down when it counted at the charity stripe.
Right.
We had 48 rebounds, okay? I'm going to check Nebraska. Nebraska had, we must have killed them on the boards. It seemed like we did 37, yeah. We had 11 advantage.
Right. So. I mean, we took them out their game. I'm trying to tell you that, like, I know I'm not trying to be repetitive, but the fact that Shireman worked so hard on Mass is almost like I did kind of expect Gary to be a little more agile and do a little more or whatever, but I just think he was taking out the game.
And once they got to 20 points, then that's like Nick was saying during the game, they want to get into a rock fight.
Right.
So that's Gary's kind of game.
Yeah, it is.
And then when it's got to be 20 points, that's not his game.
No, it's not. No, exactly.
Going down and jack up threes and things like that.
And the thing is almost like Coach Hoiberg expected this to happen because he was saying that, like, no matter the outcome, we're going to learn from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you start out with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, he know.
It would have been great to hear Kent Pavolka today on the call after the game. Would have been lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
His famous telling Tim Miles, did you think you'd blow him out? And Tim Miles like, man, don't start with that.
Tim Miles.
Worst call of the game, sponsored by Godfather's Pizza. Pizza pie piled high. What's your favorite Godfather's Pizza? What's your go-to?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's really meat lovers if I can walk in and order it. But, after the games were sponsored by Godfather's after Jay, so I used to take home about 8 or 9 different boxes of sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Pause.
I love the sausage. Yeah. I like the combo, which has got the sausage in there.
For sure.
And they also have a great, you got to get the right place that does this.
Yeah.
So it's right. They do it right, the taco pizza.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you got to have the right
place.
Let
It Fly does a taco pizza.
Yes,
I'm not just saying that.
Yeah. So check them out. Go to godfathers.com today and order your pizza. Worst call of the night.
Oh, man. I think.
Nebraska fans had a lot of worst calls, apparently.
I was thinking about.
I don't know. I didn't think any of the calls that they were booing about were particularly bad. The one, Steven, at first I thought he pushed, was it Tommy out of bounds?
Yeah.
I thought he pushed him out of bounds, but you watch the replay, he did not. He
in the
stood
corner.
there.
In the corner.
He tripped over. He tripped over his foot.
Yeah, and it was good. He kept his hands up. No, so if there's a worst call of the night, I believe. I'm trying to think back to the plays with the forwards. I know there was a particular play that was up for discussion a few times, or a couple of calls made. I'm gonna get back to you on that. Like, I'm gonna get back to you on that.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Here's something in general. Mac does the best job I've ever seen of a coach working the officials.
Oh, he worked the ref for sure.
He works them every game, and he works them with, generally speaking, without getting it technical.
Yeah, and
if you watch him at home, and that's why I really watch, because I'm at the game, I can watch him, and he's right below me, and he will go and seek out that official. They're having a long conversation, and he'll get on the sideline and have him. He'll get on the baseline and have him. But he never goes beyond to get that technical, number one. Number two, he's just telling him to look. And today he was telling him to look at that screen. Yeah. He kept complaining about that screen, and finally he got that call.
And that's what I was trying to say. I don't think it was a worst call overall. I just think it was like certain ways that the game was being played, the adjustments that Mac made. Like the refs weren't calling certain things that should have been called. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I agree with you. That's what I was thinking.
He does a masterful job.
Oh, he's the greatest ref
and the
worker of all
officials,
time.
generally speaking, like Pat Driscoll I can think of, and O'Connell from the big East guys, Potter. They really like Mac, and they're like, okay, it's Mac, we're good.
Yeah, but the thing
is, versus say Hurley.
Yeah, because Mac doesn't
even though he won a national championship, those refs are still like, ooh, we may have to tee up this guy tonight.
Mac doesn't really come at you and he questions you.
Yeah.
Or he'll point something out that he's concerned about, and then question you about it.
Yeah.
He's just respectful.
He will say, you just called that block down here, and down here you called it a charge. What's up with that?
And make you think.
Yeah.
And so you look for it as a ref.
Tonight he was on, I forget the official, but he's a guy that does a lot of our games too. But at any rate, I don't really have one.
I just think it's Mac
Nick kind of questioned that mascot on Kalkbrenner. Yeah, I don't know. It's 50-50. There's a lot of it. I don't worry about the 50-50 ones. It's the ones that are 80-20. 80-20 where they go the other way. But
I don't think it was no worse.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska fans are not. They were, and hey, Tominga threw the ball and smashed it in the back. That's a technical.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see it when it happened originally, but they showed the replay.
Yeah, originally when he was doing it, it was just out of instinct. Out of instinct of just not even frustration. It's just like an instinct, like bad predicament. Yeah. So I get his energy, but you can't do that.
Yeah, you just can't.
So it was the right call.
I'd like to see that, frankly, in the NFL.
Yeah.
Anytime you spike the ball in the field of play, because you see guys do that all the time, should be a penalty.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm not talking in the end zone. Yeah. I'm talking in the field of play. You see a guy catch and go. That should be a flag.
Well, you shouldn't do that. I feel it. Yeah,
and I'm not talking 15. It should be a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, no doubt. No, and that's kind of the energy. It was a technicality.
And college basketball does a good job of not allowing players to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
If there's a in doubt thing, they call it technical.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. No. And the thing is, I give Nebraska a lot of credit to how they lost. They accepted their defeat gracefully. It wasn't anything that was like beyond competition. Sometimes, I mean, there was frustration where Tominaga knocked it out the net and didn't let Farabello score, on the transition. But overall, I just kind of feel like it was high-spirited competition, man. And Creighton we were just better.
Josh, when you say that, I go back many years in the Valley. Remember we played. Probably it was the only time it was a sellout in that arena when it was Southern Illinois, Creighton, Missouri State, and I believe Bradley. It was a sellout because 3 of those teams were NCAA maybe bound, and we played Missouri State, and we beat them by 33 or by 25 points or 30 points, and Nate Funk had 33 points. Me and my son are getting in the elevator to go to our room after the game, and the Missouri State cheerleaders and their mascot was in there. And their mascot immediately takes his bear hat off and starts complaining about the officials. And my son turns to him and goes, you got beat by 30 points.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Nebraska didn't do that. And that stuff matters to me, Like, it keeps the rivalry healthy. I mean, but then again, it would be like, at the point in the rate how Creighton usually dominates this series, there's no really need for it. It was great.
Yeah. That was – I throw up these random memories every once in a while, but that was the funniest thing. Like, and he gets off and the cheerleaders go, we're so sorry for him. You're right. You beat us bad, know.
How do you feel about because Creighton got what, Central Michigan next? Or
Okay, we're going to get to opponent preview sponsored by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. They do answer the phone in the first ring. They are the bank of Bluejay Banter, and Doug Nodgaard, president, does a fantastic job. Doug and I are going to go to the luncheon on Friday.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Those are always great.
Those are great.
I used to hate it, though, when I was there.
Oh, yeah. You can tell those players. The last one, the first one, I haven't been able to go. The last time, I think I went to Max maybe 1 or 2, but before that I went to a bunch of Altman ones, and you could just tell the players would go up there.
Yeah, man.
And then my favorite one, the best one was Dana was up there. Nick Porter was the guy.
Nick Porter,
okay?
I remember him.
So Nick. Yeah. Nick and Dana had an interesting relationship, right?
They did, yeah.
And Dana goes, oh, well, Nick, Nick was being a little bit, and Dana goes, well, Nick, why don't you just tell me, what would you do in practice? And Nick just looks at him and goes, I'd run less. And Dana goes, that ain't happening.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the energy with me, too. Yeah. It's always fun.
But, yeah, you can tell the last one, Fred got up there, and you could just see, like, oh, man, what's Mac going to say about me?
Because I feel like I was like Mac's roasting target, man. Yeah. But he know I'm built for it, though, you know, because I dish it back.
But anyway, Doug and I are going to do that, so that's great. So, hey, check them out today. If you're not satisfied with your banking experience, check out Equitable Bank. We take bank personally. Central Michigan is the foe. They're 2-5. Their losses, they have losses to Oklahoma, very good team.
Yep.
Ohio State, pretty good team. Florida State, okay.
Man, they can beat by 30.
All of those were victories over 27 points.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
or defeats by over 27 points. Yeah. So, and then besides that, they played nobody. Yeah. So and this is going to be a true. Usually, you schedule a MAC team.
Yep.
Because MAC teams don't hurt. I've worked with Creighton on scheduling before, and I say, just go MAC teams, man, because they're not going to hurt you that bad.
Right.
It's from a point, those days RPI perspective, but now a net perspective, strength of schedule. Because you look at the MAC, and usually they're in the 90 to 150 range. This is not exactly. Unlucky for us. This is not one of those teams, right?
Yeah.
But. So this should be a game where we see Josiah Doltzler more.
Exactly. So I'm gonna put a pin there. I just had this thought about Nebraska. Doesn't it psychologically trick you if you're a Husker fan that you really look like you're 7-1, but you really like 0-1?
Well, now you got Kansas State.
I forgot who's after that.
They got it. Michigan State.
Exactly. Yeah. So like
I think they have to go to Minnesota, which could be could probably be a 50-50 game.
So can you imagine like? You can look like you're.
Sure, you could be 7-4 really quick.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they didn't really. I'm not a hater, but I'm not saying they didn't. I don't think they played.
No, I hear what you're saying.
You know,
especially from a bracketology perspective. You know, at the end of the day, let's say they win some big games.
Yeah,
you know, beat
they'll win some.
Michigan State or Illinois or whatever. Then you start looking there. They've already stacked up X amount of victories. I think Hoiberg's philosophy, and it's interesting to look at these teams and there are different philosophies in scheduling.
Right.
I think their philosophy was, look, we're not going to play anybody. We're going to play one team, Kansas State.
Right.
And we have to play Creighton, right? And then we're just going to try and get as many victories as we can. Maybe we go 9 and whatever in the Big Ten.
For sure.
So that's 17 wins. Now we get a couple in the tournament. We're at 19. We're at 19 and 12. Hey, we're right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I respect that. If that's his thought process.
That's your thought process. It's a dangerous one, though, because if you don't come through, which they have so far, they've won the games they should win.
Yeah.
But now they've got to win this stretch here in November and December. Yeah. They've got to do well here, because if they don't, they've got to at least win one of these.
Yeah,
if they don't, then they're in trouble.
Exactly. And that's why I asked you earlier about the, so to speak, hot seat situation. But as far as Central Michigan, I say this is another situation where you give opportunities. We'll see a lot more Josiah Doltzler, like you said, for sure. I think that we'll get back in rhythm. I think Ashworth, it'll be another great rep game for him to, you know, like clean up that turnover situation. He's never going to lack confidence because of how, you know, how much of a vet that he is. But I want to see Jason Green, man.
Yeah, he didn't get much run today, but he has been getting some run here lately.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Well, I don't really think I'm not going to say we didn't need him, but I feel like the way that Baylor was playing, like in a typical situation, you would assume that a Green would guard a mass. But the way Baylor was playing, it kind of like can put Jason in a situation where like it'll take a Central Michigan to get some reps for you. Sure. You know, so I'm excited to see him.
So Central Michigan, 1 p.m. tip, and then we have another week off, and then it's No, I'm sorry. We have UNLV first.
Yes.
Yes, UNLV at Henderson, not at UNLV, not Thomas and Mack, but it's way out east. And
Henderson. I think your record. I think you and I kind of had a similar. You know, we went wins and losses.
Yeah.
I think we're like. How many games?
I had one loss in there. I think I had Alabama because I didn't think we were going to go undefeated.
Yeah, right. You did say that. Yeah.
But now we got to run. We just have to win that one, then I'll be right on my record.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we have UNLV. That's going to be not a cakewalk, but it's not going to be, you know.
Yeah.
We haven't done well in Vegas here lately, so we got to take care of that.
It's neutral zone, so I think it's winnable.
Right.
Neutral zone.
And then it's Alabama, but Alabama no longer at 1 o'clock. It's a 7 p.m. tip. They switched the time.
Because
TV.
Come on,
Big
man.
Fox, baby.
It's a big time game.
Big Fox.
Like people have been watching Alabama play, and the style of play that they have, and how hard they play, and how they've been doing. It's honorable.
Yeah.
Big game.
And they haven't. They've kind of been okay so far.
Yeah.
And I'm talking their historical record. Okay?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I'm not talking 3 and 4. They're better than that, but just okay. You know, they haven't blew anybody away.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So it's a game that
it's
we definitely win.
Yeah.
Definitely win.
Yeah.
But it'll be a nice competition. A lot of athletes on that team.
Yeah.
They generally do.
Yeah.
So it'll be
up and down for sure.
It'll be a great game. A lot of people want to go to that game because it's Alabama, right?
Yes, exactly.
We still have that old Valley mindset when we go, oh my God, it's a Power 5 team.
I know, yeah, right. I know. I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking like, man, we see this.
Remember
every
those days
night.
when you're like, oh my, can you
Kentucky.
believe we're playing DePaul?
Yeah, I know. I would never forget. I tell you what, man, the greatest game that I've ever, not greatest, I'll say top 5. But maybe top 3 greatest games I've ever witnessed at now the CHI, formerly CenturyLink, formerly Quest, is Creighton versus Kentucky in the NIT.
Oh, that was. Remember, there was a tornado.
I know,
there was a tornado warning.
I know.
As I'm entering the arena, I'm like, I'm looking around.
I know. I mean, I would never forget in the corner. Booker Woodfox took that 3 and it just rimmed out.
So good.
But there was a play before that.
That crowd, like everybody said, people just go for the beer. There was no beer served there, remember, because of the NIT they couldn't serve it. And that crowd was so into that game. That was a great.
It seemed like an SEC game. Yes. The atmosphere.
I remember Billy Gillespie going, "Wow, the crowd was really good."
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
It was so good.
I know.
It was so good. That was a tremendous.
Jody Meeks, Patrick Patterson.
I remember I brought a friend of mine's son with. And he's just like, so, he's more of a football guy, and he's like, and I said, Kentucky's won more basketball games than any team in history.
I know.
And he's like, really?
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, for sure.
Because they kind of were gone in a little bit of a swoon there for a while before Calipari and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I'll never forget there was a play where I felt like he's my guy, he's my boy. But P. Allen Stinnett, man.
P. Allen.
He literally, I don't know if he was trying to be NBA-like or what, but he, tried to catch the ball with one hand, and it was stolen by Jody Meeks, and then he scored, and then Booker had to take that 3.
Meeks hit the game-winning shot.
We could offer that.
We did a great job on him all night long.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my word,
we did. And so I mean,
he was a stud.
Yeah, just the atmosphere of that. I say that all to say what you said. The atmosphere of the Alabama game will be the same.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Even better because obviously we have a top 10 team.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And we got Omaha boy on there.
Yeah,
Terrell Ricel Jr.
Yes, absolutely.
Broke my single game Zach scoring record. Coach Behrens, what were you thinking? You kept him in the game. He scored 42. I scored 41. Hey, I got a question. Would you rather have 41 and 10 threes or 42 all 2-pointers? That's a good question. Look at everybody thinking.
42 odd 2-pointers seems to me that you were a center.
Well, yeah. He shot a lot of free throws for sure.
Yeah,
they were
there you go.
They were hacking.
Yeah.
He hit a couple of threes. No, I say he hit like 1 or 2
no,
threes.
I like threes, so
yeah.
I would
you're a shooter's guy. Yeah. Shout out Ronnell Grigsby because he would not pass the ball before that point, And we had a big talk as a team, and that was his greatest assist game was my greatest scoring
First Creighton game I ever went to.
Well, yeah, when's that?
Ryan Sears hit 8 threes.
Ryan Sears.
They played Wyoming. I just moved from Wyoming. I'm like, Wyoming's going to kill me. Who is this Creighton team? And then Ryan Sears. That's when I fell in love with Creighton. I'm like, I love the way they played.
Yeah, me too.
And Ryan Sears hit 8 threes as a freshman.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah, that was awesome. You had to. I remember the days like after the Ryan Sears, Ben Walker, Terrell Taylor. Like there's so many players that made me fall in love with Creighton.
So many players.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you do when you beat Nebraska by 30. You just go down memory lane.
You do, man. You're right about that.
All right. Again, let it fly. Great sports bar. Great beer.
Yeah.
The Jays win 89-60. Blue State affirmed.
Yeah.
Join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. right here on that YouTube channel for Bluejay Banter regular show. We'll break down the volleyball onto the Sweet 16.
Hey, man.
Congratulations to Coach Booth and the team. We'll kind of recap with Ross's game, and then we'll look ahead to Central Michigan.
Yep.
So join us tomorrow at 6, and then we'll be right back here live at Let It Fly after the Creighton game next Saturday. So come on down.
Come through.
Grab a headset. You'll be able to listen to our show and watch it right on one of the screens. Thank you so much. We'll see you then.
Dude, that was awesome.